It's Thursday, January 17th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central, the longest continuous running tech podcast. This is show number 828, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Our December special for all new and existing GoDaddy customers, get $2.95.coms, use promo code GEEK295. Geek News Central is also sponsored in part by DYN. Get faster internet by using Dyn. Visit dyn.com/podcast30. Hey, folks, boy, it's been a long time. Feel a little rusty. It's glad to be back here in the seat. Got a great show lined up for you. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right. I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There's no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central, coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. And it seems like it has been absolutely forever. A buddy of mine called me yesterday and said, dude, when are you going to do your next show? I said, dude, when I get over being sick. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But first of all, Happy New Year. Seems strange to be saying this on the 17th, but it's been a while. We've been to CES, and oh man, I tell you, caught the flu coming out of Vegas, and it just put me down. So we'd had a show earlier in the week for you, but body did not cooperate, and I'm still about 80%. The throat and everything, the body has this urge when I talk too long to want to cough on you. So I'm going to try to not do that tonight, and if I have to, I'll pull the mic away and try not to cough in your ear. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all of you that are longtime listeners and viewers of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Of course, we want to make sure that you get over to geeknewscentral.com and check out all the great content. Our writers are going to be crazy busy here putting up content on the website. And not only that, our regular content creators, the Gadget Professor, Robot Underpants, everyone there fully engaged and putting content together for you. So you definitely want to come over to the website, and we're starting to put some of that CES coverage up as well. So, of course, you can always watch the show on the Tech Podcast channel on the Roku, Boxee, Samsung Smart TV, and Google TV. But don't forget, you can easily get subscribed to the show, again, right over there at geeknewscentral.com. Get subscribed, and that way you'll never miss a single episode. You want to be subscribed to our special media feed right now as well, because the special media feed is going to contain all the content we're going to shove at you from all of the coverage that we just basically picked up in Vegas. So the office or the studio here, man, I'm going to tell you, about 3 hours ago, we were not ready at all to do a show. Much of the gear was still in boxes. FedEx delivered some stuff today, yesterday, and the day before. But I was just not in any really prepared mood to, pull stuff out. And luckily, everything came together pretty quickly. Looks like everything is up and running. Got our fingers crossed here on and make sure that the show's been caught and everything. So hopefully we won't have no issues tonight post show. But audio recorder's up, and I guess that's the most important thing. Hey, as always, you guys can reach me here at Geek News Central real easily. To do so, all you got to do is reach out on Twitter at Geek News. You can email me, geeknews@gmail.com, or you can call our hotline at 619-342-7365. Well, I guess what I should do is take some time tonight and really talk about the events that has transpired since the last show. We'll go into that a little bit and talk to you about, give you some insider details of what happened in Vegas. Many of you were watching the live stream. We want to thank you for your participation. But I tell you, it was pretty nerve wracking on my end. And we'll get into those details here in just a moment. We've got a new sponsor tonight that I want to introduce to the show. It's Dyn.com, Dyn.com. We'll be talking about them a little bit more a little bit later. But we want to, first of all, take just a moment here and we want to thank our sponsors over at GoDaddy.com. We've got two great deals for you. We've got the $2.95 per year up to 3 domains. So you get up to 3 domains at $2.95 each. This deal goes through the end of the month. So don't waste any time here because I think this deal is going to be going bye-bye. We know that many of you have taken advantage of it, but you can visit geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy to get access to this great deal. And one thing, that we've got on this deal is that getting .coms at that price is really something they just don't do. And they've run this promo for 2 months now, and it's pretty incredible. It really is. So as a reminder, you can go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, and all the codes are there. We've got 20% off codes. We've got hosting codes. But more importantly, we've got a website builder code, WST50, which is a new product that we started promoting here at the new year. If you're looking to really kind of get started for the very first time building a website, you don't have a lot of skills when it comes to having to make designs. The website builder product gives you 300 templates, gives you 5,000 copyright-free or royalty-free images. It makes your site mobile ready instantly. So the website builder program is going to get you 50% off of their normal pricing. And that's pretty incredible when you think about it. I don't think we've ever had a hosting plan offered here that was a full 50% off. But GoDaddy's made that available for you. Again, all the details will be available at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. So I have a single glass of water here tonight, so I'm hoping it's going to last me throughout the show if I sip it slowly and be able to cover here. But so I guess what I want to first thing I'm going to do is thanks, guys. Thanks for being patient with no new shows up, and this big adventure going to Vegas seems to get more involved each year, and the way the end of year days felt this year, so much of the gear had to leave right after Christmas. And so it really made doing the show kind of difficult, and things got pretty involved here. So thanks for being patient and not and basically not having a show for a couple of weeks here. So I want to thank you for staying subscribed and being back. For those of you that did not get the insider video that my mom and I did, we want you to email me here because I know a number of you haven't got it, and I want to make sure you get it. So please email me if you did not get it. That's been emailed out, but I may have missed a few folks in I'm calling it the fog of war of getting ready for Vegas. So if you didn't get it, let me know, and it's obviously still online, and we've got it available. So I guess I'm just going to back up and talk just a little bit about New Year's. The family and I woke up New Year's Day, I think something ridiculous like 4:30 in the morning, jumped in the car, and drove to Diamond Head. And this is the second year in a row that we have climbed Diamond Head on New Year's Day in the morning. And the sun was kind of hidden behind some clouds, but we hang out till we finally got a glimpse of sunlight and had a great time doing that. Put some pictures up on Facebook. You probably saw those. But that really kind of made a nice outing. And we didn't go too crazy on the New Year's night at all, but had a good outing with the family, and then came back here and just kind of vegged. And I was trying to really pre-sleep as much as I could to get plenty of rest before we had to head out on the night of the 3rd. But it just seems that the red-eye flights out of here, no matter how much sleep you try to get, you always end up getting less than you want to. So flew out Thursday night. I had my mom with me. We landed in Vegas Friday morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. Got the rental car. Decided to go see if the hotel could check us in, and they did. We checked in and basically kind of unloaded our suitcases and kind of looked at each other. We really weren't ready to take a nap, and we headed out and picked up essentials. Went to Walmart, went to a few other places, and picked up water and stuff that we would need throughout the week. And then some of the team members started flying into Vegas Friday, and we hooked up with them. And really, that took us through Friday evening. And then Saturday morning, we hit it real early, loaded up the van, and went to UPS. Matter of fact, I think I've got some images, and if I can go over there, let me see if I can load this up real quick here. If you're watching the live blog that was on the website, you probably saw a lot of the stuff. Now let me bring up the TPN.TV website. We'll click on the live blog. And for those of you that are actually watching the show, it's pretty clear. We had to run to Fry's, pick up some monitors and stuff, and then do our supply runs. Next morning was going out and loading the gear. Here's the first load out of the FedEx store. Annie McCaskey and I. Second load, and then the van, not too full this year on our initial load because we'd already kind of picked some stuff up. But if you missed this live blog, I'll have a link up in the show notes for you to review this. But really, setup started there in earnest. We were hot and heavy in getting everything put together. And I think by Saturday afternoon, of course, there was this, there's always can we move out a little bit, because the 10 by 20 space that we had was pretty small. We finally were able to move out a little bit because there was nobody on either side of us, and really kind of basically solidified, allowing us to get more room. But spent all of Saturday getting things set up. The truss arrived like about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think by 6 on Saturday, the booth was, or the broadcast booth was pretty much set up. I don't think we powered anything on yet, but we'd run cables and juggled stuff around. And my goal in getting the setup of the broadcast studio this year was not to lose my mind, because the year before, the cables were everywhere, and we had one heck of a time getting everything wired up and put together. Team was great. We got things run, set up, and then used Saturday, so that wrapped us up for Saturday. We kind of determined very early on Friday, when we first saw the actual location, how close we were to the door. I had extreme concerns about security. Here we've got essentially $50,000 worth of electronics equipment, literally 10 feet from the door. And the taxi cab line is another like 5 feet away from there. So I was really worried about it. And I'd gotten an email a couple of days before the show started where a new security firm in Vegas was offering security guards at $21 an hour. And basically, I had no choice. And I had done that Friday night. I had to put in a security guard order, 88 hours worth of security. You guys, do the quick math on that, and you very quickly you see what we spent just on security alone. Was about almost $1,900. So, that was number one. We didn't really plan on spending that money, but I just couldn't. I wouldn't have slept right the whole week. But overall, everything came together. Security showed up. We were able to get out of there. Sunday morning, we came back, and I think what we did is we added some new components this year that we didn't use as much as we thought we were going to do. And we ran into a couple of little wiring issues and so forth. But really, by about noon Pacific time on Sunday, we were up and doing our first kind of trial broadcast, getting the lights, getting training done with the TriCaster operators, getting audio levels set and all that. And I think we were pretty much ready to do what we needed to do. And we did a couple hours Sunday, and then we basically had to go off to CES Unveiled. and which really allowed us then Monday before the show. So, show doesn't start until Tuesday. So Monday, we were actually even able then to start doing replay. And so we spent some time online on Monday, did a replay. The F5 guys actually did one of their own shows there. And then Tuesday morning, you if you were watching, you saw all the live content. Total of 141 vendors we ran through the studio, and I was really pleased with the basically the count. Tuesday always seems to be kind of this day where you miss a few in the morning, so that was always one of those those challenges. But some of the stats we've gotten back from Livestream and other folks so far, I'm very pleased with some of those results because some of the stuff you don't get if people aren't logged in. Chat room, I'm really kind of disappointed about the performance of the chat room. There wasn't a lot of people chatting. The live blog got the most traffic. Well, not the most, got an equal amount of traffic as the live stream did, and I think that was pretty good as well. But about Thursday, I started to feel a little punky, and by Friday, I knew that CES crud had caught up with me, and by the time the show ended and we got loaded, I was having hot flashes from fever coming on, fever coming off, fever coming on, hot, cold, working through that turned me into not a very nice animal. But Saturday, we went on to dinner that night. I was able to survive, I guess, to about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Luckily, Saturday, there was no real thing on the end of the schedule, so I didn't have to do too much in and around the hotel. Shipped a couple of things that we had remaining, and then flew home Sunday and essentially collapsed for the next 3 days. But that kind of wraps, gives you kind of an insider idea of what happened in Vegas. And lots of the content will be coming up on the website if you haven't seen it. That's just a whole nother huge job that is in front of me. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have to really work on getting the everything out. I feel like I'm about 5 days behind already, because usually I get home and immediately start processing video, and I was really kind of down and out for about 3 days, and it was just, it was bad. It really was. So hey, if you're watching on Ustream, come over to geeknewscentral.com directly. We're sending a secondary stream to Ustream. Don't watch on Ustream. There's a much better stream at geeknewscentral.com. Just reminded to tell you guys that. But lots of good feedback from all of you on the show, and we appreciate your support. And I'll be honest with you, I am taking donations still. If you appreciate what we do with the CES coverage and all the post-show stuff that we put up as well, a $21 donation would go a long way in making up some of the money that we've had to spend that we didn't plan on, that wasn't in the budget to pay for the security guard. And we had a number of people come in and give donations already. I do appreciate that. But I think we've got about 80 hours to go, to be honest with you, to make that nuts. So if you want to help us, one-time donation of $21 would be great, or any multiple thereof would be really appreciated. So let me go ahead and I almost forgot to talk about the podcast awards. The podcast awards was Monday night, and I was hair on fire in a big way a couple hours before the podcast awards, just trying to get everything ready together. Got over to the convention center. I had left the USB stick that had the award presentation on it. I had ended up getting in my car and loading my laptop up and loading my iPad up, going into the computer here in Honolulu via go to my PC, getting the file, emailing it. It was pretty crazy. And just trying to, because I was so rushed. I got that emailed to one of the folks there at New Media Expo. They were able to transfer it and get it around where we needed it to be. But Leo Laporte was fantastic. He emceed the event. I think we probably had 350, 400 people at the award ceremony. 18 of the 22 winners showed up, collected their trophies. That was great. Made their acceptance speeches. Leo was very gracious. I want to thank him. Of course, I want to thank the folks over at New Media Expo. They really went out their way. They post show, we had a bar and food, poo-poos. Again, pretty much everyone that was at the award ceremony transferred over. I'm very grateful to Rick and the team, Megan, and everyone else, even Cliff Ravenscraft. He was instrumental in helping get Leo Laporte there. So, really, it was a fantastic event. Look forward to bringing the Podcast Awards back to New Media Expo again next year. Getting the winners out and getting the folks that were nominated. Getting a large percentage of the folks there was really critical, and I think we did that. So I'm very, very pleased with that turnout. So I do have some tech content for you tonight. Just wanted to spend some time, obviously, talking about what's been going on here. But one thing I do want to do is I want to take just a few minutes and introduce a brand new sponsor to Geek News Central. And this sponsor, I'm really, really excited to bring on board. And what this is a company called it's Dyn, DYN.com. And Dyn is quite simply, they help websites with best-in-class uptime, and they keep their web traffic to those sites flowing and really, really fast. And what they are is a DNS service. They have email products. Dyn offers enterprise-level DNS offerings, having advanced features like global traffic management, load balancing, active failover. This is a real big product. The failover. So in other words, if you have some issues with one site, it'll roll over to another. Dyn has service tiers for companies for any size to get started, and even individual accounts. I've used Dyn for many, many, many years. And one of the things I use Dyn for is that on all my servers, I have a domain, some secret domains that are mapped that I can get to, long as it has like some registered IPs. It's some security procedures we use, and I use Dyn for that. And they're really offering a great deal here for those of you that are listening to the show. And I really want you to go over there, and I want you to check out their products and check out what they have available. And really, what you need to do is stop taking chances with your uptime of your websites and start talking to Dyn about, again, best-in-class managed DNS. And managed DNS is really important. Just don't count on the DNS with your hosting provider. You need to have someone that has a wide base with multiple POPs and different places where the DNS is hosted from. So DYN, get faster internet by using Dyn for DNS. Visit dyn.com/podcast30. Fill out the contact form or start shopping right away and save 30% by using the promo code podcast30 at checkout. Again, visit dyn.com/podcast30. As we get into the more shows here, we'll get deeper into exactly what each of the different products do at Dyn. And this is a really awesome product. They've got a lot of main companies that use their service, and here's their main website. You can register a domain. You've got the ability to do email, increase your email effectiveness with them, and of course the DNS services. So these guys have been around a while. They really do it right, and we want to thank Dyn for being a sponsor here at Geek News Central. Again, we'll talk about their email delivery products as well in a future show, but Podcast 30 is the code. Go over to dyn.com, become a new customer, check their stuff out, and I think their email deliverability product is probably the thing I'm most excited about, that I did not really understand completely until I really started doing research on them for a new sponsorship standpoint. So, again, thanks Dine.com for being a sponsor here. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears and talk just a little bit more about what's going on here. Believe it or not, I'm suitcase is packed. I'm leaving Saturday to head for Texas. I'm going to be there nearly a month, folks. So I'm going to go for 2 weeks. I'll be coming home for a weekend and then going back for 2 weeks for a different vendor. Going to be spending a lot of time in the state of Texas here in the early part of this year. I have just such a fantastic opportunity. Could not turn it down. So we're going to go on the road almost immediately. One show here in the studio, then I'll lock things up and head for Texas. But definitely we'll have the portable studio and everything. So we'll be producing the shows there. So I hope that you'll be able to tune in live at a more prime time for those of you that actually want to watch the live stream of the show. So just to give you a heads up on the administrative part of where I'm going to be. But again, the next show will be from the heartland of Texas, and definitely will be. I'm just my pack out's kind of crazy because I have to take extra stuff. And matter of fact, you can't see it, but I have drives even at this very moment copying data. The actual recorded content from CES that was on the TriCaster was 1.7 terabytes. So I'm making an extra drive to send to Mike Dell in Michigan. He's going to help me work on the live content. And so I'm got the drive duping stuff going on right now. Feel the hum on the desk of the hard drives on the move. But we're going to be taxing the internet connection at the hotel to the max. They have no idea. I've got like 100 videos to push. So, yeah. If the internet doesn't get shut down on me, I'll be surprised. But taking some extra bandwidth here with me with some MiFis and stuff like that. So let me look through my list here and make sure that I've got everything covered so far. Kind of weird, back in the saddle here. And of course, coming back and just being sick as a dog did not help. It really did not. And even today I'm kind of like, ugh, just not very much energy. And that's what happens when you, here's the funny part. I had a Z-Pack, which is antibiotics that was going to go with me when I went to Vegas. I left it at home. Probably wouldn't have helped anyway because, basically what I got wouldn't have been affected by that. But just dumb things that I forgot before I left. It just proves you can do all the planning in the world, but you're still going to walk out the front door and leave your underwear or something at the house. So anyway, that's enough on that. You will notice that we are going to have 3 sponsors from time to time over this next month. Just to give you guys kind of a heads up on that. Please support them. I hope that you will. We'll get into the last one here a little bit later. But if you've got comments on anything I've talked about so far, did I miss something? Please let me know. And I should mention that my mom was there taking care of basically a green room and welcoming our guest in. Man, she was like, pro, right from the very get-go. I got her trained up a little bit on the iPhone. She still was having a little bit of trouble manipulating the iPhone. I don't know what it was, but where she would put her finger, invariably it went somewhere else. So I have no idea what was going on there, but she definitely was having challenges with the iPhone, more than I actually expected. But she did great in managing all the schedule and bringing people in and out and taking care of our information packet. And we worked. Oh, boy. We worked. There was no time to have fun in Vegas. So let's get into tech stuff. And the first thing I want to talk about here is just something that is very, very funny. I heard about this, and I really didn't get a chance to review the article until I got home. And apparently, a software developer in his 40s is thought to have spent his weekdays working, surfing the web, watching cat videos on YouTube, and browsing Reddit and eBay. And apparently what he did is he had a 6-figure income, and he's reportedly paid a fifth of his 6 figure salary to a company based in Shenyang to do his job. So he was working for Verizon and basically paying this firm in China to actually do his programming for him. This guy was a senior programmer, well respected, did lots of great work. He'd had numerous performance reviews that was had been given great reviews. And so instead of working and doing code, he spent those 9 to 5 work days surfing the internet. And how he got caught was a security check on a U.S. company was reportedly revealed that one of its staff was out. Basically, they saw a VPN connection from China into their network. And so this VPN connection went from the employer's workstation back for many, many months. And what he did, they have this lockdown system at Verizon, and they're trying to figure out how their network had been breached. And what he had done is he had FedExed these folks his RSA security token to China so that the third party contractor could log in under his credentials during the workday. And he's had apparently this scam going across multiple companies in the area. And it appears he earned several $100,000 a year. And again, only had to pay the Chinese consulting firm about $50,000 annually to do all this code for him. So that's pretty smart. Except he was not supposed to be outsourcing his work. But, if you're getting paid a couple $100,000 and, you don't want to work, you don't want to code, he just hires a firm that can do the code for you and let him go. And apparently Verizon didn't look too kindly on that. And they've had to review all his code, haven't found anything askew. So he's no longer employed by Verizon. A surprise, surprise, right? But I have to give the guys kudos for being ingenious. And number one, finding a Chinese firm in Shanghai, in China, that would actually, produce quality work. So much of the work I've had done at overseas firms has turned out to be just crap. And then our programmers had to have spent a huge amount of time fixing the code. But I guess this turned out to be okay. So I guess it was good while it lasted, and he was able to cruise the internet and do what he needed to do. Because he's got plenty of time to do that now. All right, Lenovo is giving Chrome OS a try with Chromebook for schools. And I think we talked about, or actually this broke a couple of weeks ago. But maybe Chrome OS is finally coming into its own. Maybe it's time to take a closer look at this. Lenovo plans to release its first Chromebook laptop, which it calls a rugged model for K through 12 schools. So it's going to be the ThinkPad X131E. It's going to run on an Intel processor, has a 11.6-inch 1366 by 768 resolution LED display, has 3 USB ports, an HDMI output, and a VGA out. That's pretty good. It'll work about 6.5 hours on a single charge. And but apparently it's going to be available starting around February 26th. And they're going to have them at volume pricing at $249. So not bad of a price, and all running Chromebook. So we'll see where this goes for Chrome OS. I was actually, I'm reading the chat room. MS Small Biz says, and people wonder why I say cloud is not the secure data in most cases. Who knows who accessed your data, could care less that he outsourced. The problem is that who vetted the outsourced company and the code they submitted. That's true. That guy that was getting that code submitted, yeah, who was vetting it? Was he vetting it? Or was his supervisor vetting it? And how close was he really vetting that code? He could have put all kinds of backdoors in. but that's what he did. Kind of on an aviation side, Boeing 787 Dreamliner is grounded in the United States and in the EU and also in Japan right now. So apparently they're having some more troubles with this. So hopefully they get that fixed and be back online, back in the air soon. Typical growing pains with a brand new aircraft for sure. Instagram has released for the very first time basically a report on their monthly active users and shows that they're doing pretty good. They had 90 million monthly active users I guess, what is it, last month? Of course, they had some trouble there that caused them some bad press, but they had 90 million people logged on. Instagram, I know it didn't slow my daughter down at all, but previously Instagram had said that it had 100 million registered users, but that means 90 million of them were active and at least logged on at least once. So guess their little press fiasco didn't hurt them too bad, and they've been able to continue to keep their audience happy. So Wired did an interview with Larry Page, Google's CEO, and he's offered his take on the state of technology. And he really kind of came out and really kind of pounded on Apple and Facebook a little bit. And the thing that I thought that was interesting was that he said that Facebook and Apple should dedicate more resources on innovation rather than competition. And but they did a very lengthy interview with him. This is only the second or third time he's sat down for a long interview, but they talked about their Google X project, and where they basically have their own skunk works and they're building on making stuff that they are trying to get ready for the next 10 years, and they have innovative products. But he really definitely had some comments about Google Android and how it's holding its own, and how Apple really has not been able to impact Google Android sales. And I think we all know that Android's doing very well in the space. But a pretty good article on Wired. And so we'll see what happens with this. And a lot of people were reading as much as they could into the interview, but it's a good read. I'll have it up in the show notes for you to check out. As a reminder here, all show notes for Geek News Central shows are over at gncshownotes.com. Don't forget that Don Bain, the Gadget Professor, is producing great content for us. We've got Langley with Robot Underpants. You can reach me here at geeknews at gmail.com, as well as a good email address for us. All right, Time Warner is crying foul over Netflix Super HD demands, and they're actually making net neutrality claims. Now, I tell you, that's that is quite a statement for Time Warner to be making net neutrality claims. But it appears that Netflix has said that it will offer what it calls Super HD and 3D content, but only to customers whose internet service providers agree to use Netflix Open Connect content delivery network. Cablevision, Virgin Media, British Telecom, Google Fiber, and others are on board. Time Warner is apparently negotiating with Netflix to connect to the private network, but it complains that its customers should get access to the crisper content without having to be part of Netflix CDN. And what they're trying to do here is they're trying to make sure that the ISPs that they hook up to have peering arrangements so that they keep their bandwidth costs down. But Netflix is basically saying that ISP networks that aren't part of Open Connect will see the message, your internet provider is not configured for Super HD yet at Netflix Super HD page. So I guess what they're going to be doing is Netflix is going into some of the cable boxes. Have not seen this before, but that should be exciting for many of you. They're Netflix users. How would you like to wake up and have an eBay auction bill for $13,000 for some LED lights that you didn't buy? Well, apparently, a gentleman was notified that he had bought 13,000 LED lights on eBay UK. And the problem was this guy was based in the United States. So he did everything he could to reach to eBay and say, hey, this is fraud. I'm not using the UK eBay site. Help me, help me, help me. And basically, eBay came back with a bunch of automated messages that really didn't help him at all. He finally just ignored it. And after getting many nasty grams for not paying for the lights that he didn't buy. So how many of you ever run into that issue? Did you ever get an email from eBay for something that was bought, but wasn't an email address that you had associated with an eBay account? That would make me a little bit upset, I think, if I was to get an invoice for something like that. I wouldn't pay it either. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break here for one of our sponsors. I'm going to take just a second, and I want to thank the folks over at Citrix Go to My PC. You know, for many of us, so much of our jobs are tied to our office computers, network, special programs, important files, and so forth. You often feel like you got that chain and ball that's holding you to your office just to be productive. But there's good news. There's a better way. Use Go to My PC, a secure remote access tool from Citrix that turns any computer, tablet, or smartphone into your office computer. With Go to My PC, you can access your entire network, use any program, save, edit, send any file from anywhere. You'll never forget a file or carry a flash drive again. It's the freedom to work wherever and whenever you need to. Plus, Go to My PC is simple to use and sets up in minutes. I've got two machines here that I'm using Go to My PC on. One that I actually control the live stream on when I'm on the road, and another that I have just access to my regular workstation. And, you know, when I was out in Vegas, I accessed my workstation here in the studio in my home office multiple times, and actually did some work right from that desktop or pulled data down that I needed. So as a listener of this show, you can see I use Go to My PC, and I want you to do it as well. So you can try Go to My PC free for 30 days. And really, all you got to do is visit gotomypc.com, click the Try It Free button, and enter the promo code podcast. Then download the free app to your mobile device. That's gotomypc.com, try it free, promo code podcast. Thanks for Citrix Go to My PC for being a sponsor here at Geek News Central. Well, porn trolling failure print a law is really not very happy. They tried to ditch the judge that's been giving them so much grief. And basically another judge reviewed their complaint and said, nope, there's no reason why they need to be thrown off. He needs to be thrown off the case. So the porn trolling failure print a law has to remain with a judge that has just been beating them down left and right. So I think this is fantastic news. Hope it costs that company a lot of money. All right, Kim.com is making 50 gigabyte free, no promises on getting old files back. So basically, Kim.com has said his new mega service will offer each user 50 gigs of free storage space. That's really very generous if you think about it. They were hoping to be able to transfer and give old customers premium status if they had it on the old site. But their lawyer doesn't think they're going to be able to do that. So they're still planning on launching on the 20th of January. So that's just a short 3 days away from now. In more Mega Upload news, a Canadian court refuses to ship Mega Upload servers to the United States. Basically, a Canadian court has rejected a request from the United States to hand over 32 servers based by a local provider. And basically, Mega Upload has successfully been able to block those servers from being shipped to the U.S. And they've hired a forensic team. Or actually, the Department of Justice has been forced to hire a Canadian forensic team to go through those servers there and to see if there was any data in there that they need to use as part of their court case against Mega Upload. .com is also complaining that record label pressure has forced mega radio ads off the air. So they've been trying to run ads on the radio about this new site, and they're getting blocked. And the entertainment companies are basically coming in and really putting a lot of pressure on the radio stations. So he's having trouble advertising the launch in New Zealand and other places as well. So, anyway, that's what's going on with Mega. We'll see it here in just a few days. There's a piece of malware out there called Red October. And of course, any of you that have been watching movies know that Red October was a movie about a Soviet submarine that its captain and some of the officers basically defected to the United States and turned over the submarine. Of course, it's a Tom Clancy book, but this Red October malware that's out there has infected hundreds of computer networks and diplomatic, governmental, and scientific research organizations around the world. And according to Kaspersky Labs, they're saying that this is one of the most advanced espionage platforms ever discovered. And they say that the operators of that malware had more than 1,000, hear this again, 1,000 modules that they could launch and use to craft attacks against machines that they were installed in. Basically, they had every toolkit imaginable to be able to, number one, stay in touch with keep the computer under their control, and at the same time be able to access just about everything that you're doing on your computer. So pretty extensive write-up on this, 140 pages of technical analysis that includes some Red October dwarfs as well. But they are saying that this is a pretty impressive campaign, even compared to some of the other ones, like was Aurora that happened before, and also Night Dragon that was another malware that was out there. But good read on this. I'll have this link up in the show notes for you. Well, here's something that's interesting. You know, at CES, CNET really got egg all over their face by having to, being told by their parent organization, CBS, that you will not allow Hopper to be the best of show. And what ended up happening here was that this raised a lot of questions about CNET's, independence and being able to have, good reporting and honest reporting. But apparently, the folks at CNET have re-voted and giving Dish, Hopper, and Sling the best of CES. So, but this is a little bit too late. The Hopper thing had been around for a while. It was something we really weren't even going to cover. Andy McCaskey had walked in the booth a little to his knowledge about 10 minutes before, or 10 minutes after the CNET fiasco started, and couldn't get anybody to talk to him. He came back to our broadcast booth and was pissed. But there was, a little side story. The PR people are all in PR mode. They were in PR damage control from the CNET hoopla. So, if you're going to look at a DVR, the Dish Hopper with Sling is probably a pretty good product to look at. And they expect Dish Hopper with Sling to be in the $200 to $300 range on pricing. But again, we'd heard about Hopper for a while. We knew this Sling thing was coming, and we really didn't cover it too much. But we gave them a Best of Show Tech Podcast Award just on the fly because we could. And it was so sad what CNET was unable to do, and how they got egg on their faces from their CBS bosses. I don't think they've revoted. I think this is an article that was a little late to the table on reporting on it, but definitely caused a few people to resign over at CNET over it. Hey, Torrent Freak has a good map out on the emerging ethics of file sharing and copyright enforcement, and this should be very telling. The folks that are 19 to, let me make sure I got that right. The folks between the ages of 18 and 29 are doing a lot of file sharing. At least 70% of that age group are either downloading media or sharing or sneaker netting. They're basically breaking copyright, doing copyright violations in a big way. But then again, if you look at some different age groups and you move into the 30 to 49 group, as much as 50% of those folks have copied or shared a DVD. And then as the age group is older, it drops a little bit lower. But even 65 and above, 26% of those folks have shared or some music, a DVD, downloaded something. So this study was done between the United States and Germany, and looked at the two differences in the population, and it pretty much mirrored. It was pretty close across both countries on what people are doing as far as downloading and sharing and so forth. But anyway, I'll have a link in the show notes. You guys can go through this in all its dirty details. But a whole lot of copyright and sharing going on, or copyright violations going on through sharing and downloading of media. All right, a math teacher's been convicted for linking to pirated answer sheets. A Dutch teacher has basically had a verdict against him. So he had run a website on his own personal website, and he had linked to math answer sheets that were basically part of. He had the textbook with all the questions that the students were using, and then his students could go to his website and link to the actual source material that had all the answers for all the problems. And the teacher argued that math answers are universal, as there's only one right solution to a question, and that the answers are therefore free of copyright. But in a ruling, the Amsterdam court disagreed. They said, while answers to math problems may often be identical, the way the answers are explained can be crucially different, and basically said that because there's those slight nuances in how they're being described and how they're being solved, he's going to have to pony up some cash for this. But just linking got this teacher in trouble. It makes you sit back and go, a little bit. If you get ready to come into the country here in the next few months, you don't be surprised if you have to walk up to a screen, and the screen is going to ask you, are you a citizen of the United States of America? You have to reply yes or no. Second question it's going to ask you is, have you ever been arrested? You have to answer yes or no. Number 3, it's going to, have you been employed in the past 5 years? Yes or no. And finally, have you ever used illegal drugs? Yes or no. It's going to be looking at you, recording you, taking the inflections of your voice, and then it's going to decide whether or not you're showing deceit or lying to it. If it detects that, it's going to flag you, and off you go for secondary screening. I don't think the machine is going to be able to reject you from the country, but who knows at this point. But pretty interesting device, and it scans your passport, and it asks you the questions, and you have to look at the camera and answer yes or no as a way they're trying to determine if someone's trying to get in the country illegally or with the false pretense, and may not be revealing everything that they should. So anyway, this is technology being used to look at biometrics and that kind of stuff. All right, over on Mashable.com, hey, you heard about this fake girlfriend thing, right? Now, I'm not a big sports guy, but if you're a sports fanatic, you'll know that a certain player that came from Hawaii who played for Notre Dame is in the middle of a little bit of a scandal. Apparently, he had a girlfriend that was not real, someone that was playing a elaborate hoax on him. So long story short, sports folks want to talk to this young player who's going to be obviously probably drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. But you can go online over at Namoro, Namoro, and for $39, you can have a fake girlfriend for 7 days. She'll make comments on your website. Going to show your status no longer being a single. So anyway, you can have your own virtual girlfriend for a while. So I think that's kind of funny. But apparently, this football player was led to believe that this person he was talking to was the real deal, and but there's more to the story. So we'll see what happens with this if you follow the sports side of it. Or you get in your car, you put in the directions, and you drive. And you know that the drive is only about maybe 90 miles from your house. But at about the 500 or 600 or 700-mile mark that your GPS is leading you somewhere, you get to wondering what's going on. And finally, at 900 miles, when you enter a country that you're not familiar with, maybe you figure out that your GPS has led you astray. Well, a GPS has taken a woman from Croatia, or actually from Belgium, through Germany, slightly into the Czech Republic, through Austria, and then finally just brought her into just outside of Croatia. She drove 900 miles the wrong way. A 67-year-old woman drove for 2 days in the wrong direction because of her faulty GPS directions. You have got to be kidding me. I've said again and again, folks, that a GPS is not a substitute for common sense. It makes me laugh because was she really that stupid? Really? 900 miles? Don't you live somewhere, you're going to go somewhere? Aren't you just going to do at least a cursory look of where you're going to go? Don't you think if you live in Belgium and you end up in Croatia, that the place you wanted to visit is in Belgium would be a bit of an issue? She went all the way across Germany, just hugged Czech Republic, through Australia, actually went through Slovenia as well, and into Croatia. Did she not have to go through border checks or anything? I guess, I haven't traveled in Europe very much, so wow. That's pretty dumb. So I was distracted, so I just kept driving. I saw kinds of traffic signs, first in French, then German, finally in Croatian, but I kept driving because I was distracted. Suddenly, I appeared in Zagreb, and I realized I wasn't in Belgium anymore. Hello? You can probably drive across Belgium in like an hour. How can you be distracted for 2 days? I don't get it. I really don't. All right, this next one. I saw this, I go, pretty geeky, but I think I want to buy it. This is a device that allows you to strap your head to a seat and finally sleep. It keeps your head up, so you basically don't have your chin, your chin down in your chest. And we've all of us have been on a plane, and the head's hanging and drool's rolling out. $39, you can have one. It allows you to put a strap on the seat, which strap to your head, and don't worry. No longer will you be nodding off. I just don't know how comfortable this is going to be. When your neck loosens up, is it just you're going to be like a weeble wobble? I don't know. But we'll see if this gets funded over at Indiegogo campaign. It's a Indiegogo Kickstarter. So we'll see if this comes up and makes its but $39 you can put your bid in for one. Oh, guys, ladies, you don't want to look at this one. Fellas, those of you fellas that are out there that have a tendency to have maybe more hair on your chest than you do on the top of your head, or you've got that gorilla look going on, or you are just a hairy dude. Well, Ogizmo is making you aware of a new product. It's called Manscaping 101, the selective hair trimmer. It's a Japanese product. It's $33, but the way it works is it combs the hair on your legs and does a little trimming at the same time. So if you're looking to thin the hair out a little bit without shaving per se, this is probably the product for you. But it is kind of gross. They show someone basically combing and trimming their pit at the same time. So not my idea of a very sexy picture, that's for sure. Okay, someone's saying in the chat room, they're saying, uh, you ever talking, this is about the virtual girlfriend. Um, oh, Even better would be to hire someone to do this to somebody you want to get in trouble. Hire them a virtual girlfriend to post, etc., etc. That's an interesting thing. That's an interesting way to get back at someone. Pay someone to be someone's fake girlfriend. Wow, that's pretty dirty. That's very conniving there, MS Small Biz. Very funny though. Please, no one hire me a girlfriend. My wife would not appreciate it. Hey, by the way, I did get an invite to Ingress. I've been playing it a little bit. I am part of the resistance. The resistance shall rule. So Ingress has updated their user interface. They've made some performance improvements, and basically it's working pretty good. So if you're not, I'm still only a level 1. I haven't been playing it that much, but they have upgraded to version 1.18.1. And so anyway, if you haven't got on Ingress yet, you definitely look for an invite out there. Um, if you are a business, I found an article today over Chris Penn's website, ChristopherPenn.com, Christopher'sPenn.com. There's a way, if you're a small business, you can basically register your physical address with them. And this is kind of an interesting thing. It's called a Google Local Business Registration. You put your business name and address in and claim your local business on the map. You tag it with the industries you want to be searched for, put in your business hours and other contact information, let it rip. The web traffic lift is almost immediate. For every business that he's done this for, local search traffic is doubled or tripled immediately. He said, here's an example. This is the Marketing Over Coffee podcast. I put listing in at the local donut shop because that's where he convened with his friend and co-host John Wall. He says, we do have business hours and physical location. I put this in as a marketing agency because you could, in theory, hire us to come fix up your marketing shop. So it really increased their traffic in a big way. But I don't know if I'd have registered my business at a local donut shop or not. Use your home address. Why not, I want to talk just a little bit about Aaron Schwartz. And this was all over the news. It happened while I was still in Vegas. Aaron died of basically committed suicide late last week. And Aaron was known as basically internet freedom fighter. That's kind of how I want to refer to him. He was an online activist. He was one of the people that was responsible for the RSS 1.0 spec. And, if you search on the web, Aaron Schwartz plus freedom, you're going to find lots of information about it. And he believed that the net should be free, and that a lot of stuff that was on the net that was finding its way behind firewalls that was in the public domain before, basically, he didn't like that type of stuff. And I never met Aaron myself. I think, although I say I may have once briefly, but he was currently under prosecution for basically a hacking incident that happened at MIT, where he was getting journal data pulled down and in a closet. If we remember, we talked about this a long time ago about the guy that had a computer in a closet and was running scripts and was pulling journal data down that universities and services were paying for. The people that own the journal content didn't go after him, but MIT really didn't kind of lift a hand to stop the prosecutor that took the case. And this kid was facing 30 to 50 years in jail. So it's not probably the only thing that committed the suicide, because they said he did have challenges with depression in the past, but there's been a lot of outcry on the internet about overzealous prosecutors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link up a blog post that was written by Doc Searles. And Doc has the most extensive article with all the links and commentary. And pretty sad thing. This young man was very smart, um, and definitely was deep in the space. And Dave Winers commented on this, and a lot of other luminaries as well. So his funeral, I believe, was, let's see, look at the date. Today's the 17th. No, his funeral was on Tuesday. So some of this is old news, but I guess the main thing I want to say is that, Aaron Swartz was not a hacker. He was a builder, and he did cool things. And he liked to have the internet to be open and free and access to information. And what he did at MIT got him into a lot of trouble and probably led ultimately to his action that he took, where he took his own life. But I will say this to all of you that are out there listening to this show right now: don't ever, please, if you ever get into a spot in your life where you are contemplating suicide, pick up the phone, call a friend, call a family member, call 911, call me. You know, don't, nothing is so bad that it can't be resolved. This is a tragedy that didn't have to happen. This young man had hundreds of friends that would have came to his aid, got onto airplanes, drove in the middle of the night, whatever it took to have saved his life and provided counsel for him. So, depression does different things to different people, and people have different challenges with it. And people also combine that with the threat of going to jail. Could be a little overwhelming for a young person, but or even an older person. So please, 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 as we've come off the holidays here and everyone's kind of getting into the new year, make sure that if you're ever contemplating anything like this, to reach out and at least talk to a friend or a family member or a counselor or a medical professional or a priest or a rabbi, or whatever it may be. This is unnecessary tragedy. It really is. But I have a couple of links up to the commentary on Aaron Swartz's suicide. On a more interesting, well, not interesting, but in a more technical topic here, getting off this very sad topic, the Apple iOS newsstand is now going to offer Hearst magazines days before the print and other digital stores are available. So this is a new feature for Newsstand. And this is a partnership with Hearst, again, covering their entire catalog. So be aware of that when you're getting ready to pick up magazine periodicals online. Couple of cool articles tonight talking about, on GigaOM, about talking who's winning the social media race. And it basically looks at the size of different networks like Google+, Instagram, Foursquare, Tumblr, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and it shows the comparison in sizes. Pretty cool stuff here. And I tell you, Facebook should be worried, because even though Google Plus is only a couple of years old, they're doing pretty good. And these networks are growing quickly and right on Facebook's tail, essentially. So very cool chart. I have a link up in the show notes for you to take a look at it. Next article is, if you live in California and you're wondering why they're having trouble doing stuff, they basically invested in the Facebook IPO, And California lost over $600 million in the Facebook IPO. So you can blame Facebook for a little more of California's financial woes, which they continue to have. Dish Network wants the FCC to freeze its review of SoftBank Sprint ad deal or Sprint purchase. They're basically trying to shut it down. So Dish is not happy with this deal, and but we'll see. We'll see if the FCC listens to him at all, which I have a funny feeling they probably won't. Hey, the White House, tiring of Death Stars and deportation requests, ups the people's signature threshold from 25,000 to 100,000. So, We the People website, where they have to respond if you get a certain number of signatures. Well, now you have to put in a minimum of 100,000 to get a threshold to get a response from the administration. That's just it's gonna make it hard for some stuff to really break out. Of course, they had that one where they were trying to deport the CNN host. Obviously, I think that was pretty silly, but a lot of people signed it, that's for sure, to try to get the president to deport Piers Morgan. Last couple of articles tonight here for you. The Justice Department has complied with the Freedom of Information Act request for the GPS tracking memos, and they handed the ACLU 111 fully retracted pages. And basically, the pages they sent them were nothing but just complete black. 111 pages of 100% redaction. So, imagine the ACL getting this in the mail, and it was just black. Yeah, they got a lot of information out of that Freedom of Information request, didn't they? And they had to pay for each of those pages as well. And space news, a Curiosity is set to test its drill in the coming days on a rock that scientists believe may provide new information on the existence of water on the planet. And they've dubbed this rock John Klein after the late deputy project manager for the mission. So Curiosity is getting ready to drill. So we'll see what happens with that here in the next few days. There's a couple other science things. Oh, hey, did you hear about the guy that found the 12-pound gold nugget? Yeah, this was missed by hundreds of prospectors, but it was just buried a few inches below the soil. But $298,000 is what its value was for a 12-pound gold nugget. Completely crazy. Very, very cool. So I found it with a metal detector. And that wasn't the biggest one. There's been some other big gold nuggets as well that have been found in the past. One that was 156 pounds, and another one that was 171 pounds. But this one's going to fetch this guy about 300 grand, and again, 12-pound gold nugget. Very, very cool. Chinese are talking about going to the moon with a rover. So we'll see if they do that. The Iranians are talking about putting a monkey in space. Didn't we do that like 50 years ago? The folks over at Roku are going to be getting a digital antenna to go along with the Roku device so that you'll be able to broadcast television to the Roku. So that's pretty cool. We'll wait for that to come out and be available. And my final article tonight talks about Camtasia Studio 8. There's a great review over at PC World. And I tell you, the folks at Camtasia are trying to up the game as far as video editing goes. Camtasia is a world famous screen, basically records the screen and any associated audio. And word's on the street with this new Studio 8 that they're raising the bar and basically and for video creation. All right, what I want to do now is I've got a bunch of emails, I think. I got a great stack of stuff that's come in, and I don't know how far back I'm going to go. So let me load that. And honestly, folks, I'm running out of gas here. Having the flu for a week, 5-6 days, and then not being 100% yet, running out of power here. Hey, got an email from Bree. She's one of our longtime listeners of the show. She works out of Washington, D.C. This is the email. She says, wow and wow and wow. I have no idea as to what the space station looked like. Now I do, and it's very impressive. This is worthwhile to watch. Don't forget your family members and for sure your grandchildren. Enjoy. And this is a departing space station commander provides a tour of the orbital laboratory via YouTube. Pretty incredible video, folks. This is one of the most interesting and informative videos I've seen on the International Space Station in some time. So I'll have that link up in the show notes for you to check out. Got an email from Tim. It says, team of students show us what warping or jumping to hyperspace would actually look like. And I'll have that link up in the show notes. Thanks for that, Tim. The White House did respond to the Death Star request. They said that the Death Star would cost $800 quadrillion to build. So no Death Star in our future here. Another email we got was the creepy future of office interaction. So I'll have that, the creepy future of office interaction. I'll have that link up in the show notes. Got an email from Dino. He says, hey, Todd, what's up? A website developer here with some feedback. You asked for it on your last shows here. So here are some. Website. 90% of the time I'm listening, I'm using Galaxy S2 in the car. I imagine many listeners visit via their phones while on the road to listen to a show or check out a link, etc. I would strongly suggest a mobile version. I looked briefly for a manual mobile option, but nothing showed up. Smaller size video copies. We do have a mobile version of the video copies, Dino. Definitely look within each blog post. There's a RSS feed for it. He says, again, targeting mobile users. I believe you used to have show copies on YouTube. But again, there is a small version of the show, a 320 by 180 is the size. So there is a smaller mobile size available. He says the show. My only issue with the show is the advertising at the beginning. I fully understand the importance of its necessary evil, but one of my web developers' rules is that the advertisers won't be there if the listeners' users aren't. I noticed the show actually starts off at about the 20 minutes. I imagine many new first-timers may drop by that point. Just a thought. P.S. Good average service, you hover at 15% tip. Come on, man. I'm a little biased since I used to work in the tip-based industry, but I was there at one point, going to school, working in center, and a simple, good, deserved tip can make the whole difference to a person. Oh, I agree, but be honest with you, unless it's extraordinary service, 15% it's going to be. On a side note, I'm exactly the same when it comes to my drink. Keep it full, bring the food late, mess up the order. I don't care. Just don't leave me without my precious Diet Coke. Thanks, Dino, for the show feedback. Got an email here from Bill. He says, Happy New Year to you and the Ohana. I'm a little behind on the show, so you might have reported on this already. But just in case here's something you'll be a real game changer in mobile technology. You know, it will only be a matter of time before Apple and Microsoft will follow docking your phone into a full desktop OS. This is the geek stream come true when it comes to merging technology. I use my phone way more than I do my PC, so if this works out, it will be perfect for me. It's even bigger bonus that I'm primarily a Linux user at home. Keep up the great work, and I really enjoy the show. Aloha, Bill, out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Got an email here from Ross. Hey, Todd, not sure if you've seen this. Gets a bit too late since your children already have their cell phones. Has a link to something. I did not get to review that. I'll let you guys know, too, I've been invited to the BitTorrent streaming beta. I got to get back and check that out. I just remembered that. Dr. Bill sent me an email about the BitCasa, the infinite hard drive. I set this up over the holidays, and it's the bomb. You won't understand how much you need this until you try it. But basically, it is the infinite hard drive in the cloud. Imagine never having to think about whether to have to save a file forever or not. Imagine having all your devices access to the same files. Wow. I talk about it in detail on my new release, Dr. Bill Netcast. So thanks for that. Got an email here from Craig talking about an issue his wife had with her iPhone and multiple replacements. and he actually had to email Tim Cook to complain because he wasn't getting relief, and basically that he got some support from the company finally, and was able to get his wife's iPhone replaced. So this just goes you that you have to be persistent sometimes. Got an email here from James talking about, don't know if anyone sent you an email about this app, but the Beyond Pod podcast app is fantastic. You simply search for your show in their database, or you can drop an RSS link in there and keep track that way. Here's how my feed looks. Very, very cool. And in an interview, this came from Tim. In an interview, famous jailbreaker Pod 2G breaks the silence, indicating there's a big chance he'll come back and start working on jailbreaking and starting his confident there'll be an iOS 6 jailbreak in the coming months. I think that was it. I think we got all the emails read back through about the 27th of December. So, everyone, thanks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for not going away while we were away for a couple of weeks. And make sure you get subscribed to the special media feed. It's really important that you pull down those videos. And we should have some great content for you here over the next couple of weeks as we really start kicking stuff out. And before I go, actually in this segment here, we'll just go ahead and skip it. We'll talk to you guys later. Everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the Ohana. We'll see you next time. Take care and aloha.